My name's Aaron Matz. I do vocals and write songs in a band called Betraying the Martyrs from Paris, France.
Thank you for the time today, actually.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm all right, yeah. We got a little bit more time this time around. Last time we played this festival, we arrived 10 minutes before we played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we purposely tried to arrive a little bit earlier. I got my dad coming out and some friends from my hometown, from Leicester originally.
Okay.
Just down the road.
Yep.
Yeah, just trying to enjoy the atmosphere this time around.
Excellent. So how long have you actually been here so far this time around?
I don't know, like 2 hours.
2 hours?
No, maybe not even.
Fair enough. But I'm betting that's a lot less
Yeah.
stressful than
Yeah.
it was previous times.
Absolutely.
But you've not had much chance to see bands, which is unfortunate. If you did have the whole weekend, was there anyone that you would have wanted to have seen?
DKC Strain, the headliners from yesterday. I fucking love that band. It's really like heavy music. Toured with them a couple of times. And just, yeah, good guys who play heavy music. I really like it. It's violent.
Brilliant. How do you find doing festival shows opposed to regular shows?
Completely different. I like doing club shows better, I think, personally, just because. I mean, today's going to be good because it's inside. I like it when it's dark.
Yeah.
You know, when the light show can really come out and like the sound really resonates, and it's just a better. I feel it's a better vibe in the room. But whereas outdoor festivals, like sometimes we played in Download France the other week,
Oh, yeah.
and the crowd literally like 10, 20 meters away, so far away. So you have such little interaction with the crowd.
Oh, that's a shame, yeah.
Well, that personal interaction, whereas
Yeah.
on club shows, the person's sometimes right here, and that's to vibe off people.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you find that the French metal scene compares to the English metal scene?
Yeah, it's just completely different. Like the music that the English scene is into is a lot different. Like now it's a lot of slam and that whole kind of architect scene, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
But whereas in France, it's a lot more kind of the true metal scene, like Gojira, obviously huge, being a French band.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more of the old school metal. They seem to maybe be a little bit behind in terms of the styles of music that they're into.
All right, yeah.
But I mean, who's to say who's behind and who's in front? It's just, just a different style of metal in France.
No, it's interesting actually because there are definitely a lot of very interesting bands coming from France. I feel like it's almost exploding in a way that's they're quite unique from each other. All of these bands.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
so how do you find the actual sort of like the bands that are coming from France? Is this true to say, or am I just talking shit?
No, you're right. You're right. Like, yeah, there's Landmarks, there's Novelist, there's that Chunk, No Captain Chunk band, Rise of the North Star, ourselves, Gojira, and all different styles. But I think that each band is feeding off one another in the fact that they can see that it is possible for French bands to, breach into this modern metal scene. So they're just getting motivated by each other. That's the
Okay, so
connection that they have.
kind of an encouragement, so it's
Yeah, definitely.
bringing more of these bands out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, fantastic. Come to think of it, is there any sort of like bands that, well, we're quite interested in Noizze at some of the bands that don't necessarily get the exposure that they deserve sometimes. Quite often a band could be very talented, but for whatever reason, PR, marketing, or they just haven't had that chance. Is there any bands that you've toured with, or, and this will
In
not
general,
just in, not in
oh.
general, not just in France, that you've noticed that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I don't know. But I think that they're starting to get something done now. From Sorrow to Serenity, they played actually this weekend, yesterday, or maybe the day before. When did Bleed From Within play?
Bleed From With.
I think it was 2 days ago.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
My days are blurring into each other. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
well, Bleed From Within, obviously a fantastic band, but they've had quite a bit of exposure. But From Sorrow to Serenity, great band. We just took them out on a headline tour earlier on in the year, and they're so talented, they're really nice. Those guys deserve it for sure.
Cool. So focusing a little bit more on Betraying the Martyrs for a moment, is there a particular way in which you kind of approach writing your music?
Yeah. Well, the first record, obviously, we wrote it as an unestablished band. Just kind of around each other's houses,
Yeah.
putting a lot of time into it because our touring schedule wasn't so heavy.
Yeah.
Second album, we wrote it on the road, literally in buses and vans and different studios around the world, and that didn't work out for us whatsoever.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Third album, we wrote and recorded. We wrote it kind of in Reading.
Oh,
We
really?
wrote and recorded it in Reading.
Whereabouts in Reading?
In a cabin in some camping place.
Oh,
That's where
right.
we stayed, and it was with Justin Hill.
Oh
from
right, okay.
Sixth.
Oh wow.
He was the singer from Sixth, yeah,
Yeah.
and he recorded the album. I don't know where the studio was.
Okay.
White House, White something Studios.
Okay. I'll have
Not
to
really
look into
sure, yeah,
that.
but yeah, Justin Hill from Sixth produced the album, and it was great. It was nice to do that in England
I
as well.
just didn't realise it was from Reading of all
Yeah, yeah,
places.
yeah. And now this one, we're writing it in the west of France in a barn on a farm that we rented and like installed a studio in there, and we're gonna record it. We think, I don't know if we can say this, but yeah, in Czech Republic.
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so this is something that's you're in the works at the moment. It's all booked in, but you're not haven't
Yeah,
started
well,
it yet.
it's been written and pre-produced and
Okay, yeah.
recorded,
Right.
but the actual masters haven't been tracked.
Fair enough. Is there anything specifically that you're doing differently this time around for this album?
Not particularly. We just knew that the way the second album was written and recorded wasn't for us,
Uh-huh.
and the way the last one went down was definitely how we need to do it. So we're just basically trying to do it as close to how we did the first and the third album as possible.
Okay. Do you feel like there's a huge difference between the albums in terms of musical accomplishments? Do you feel that
Yes, yes.
they've come a long way since then?
Well, the first album was just like basically us, how we do it, because we were just between ourselves. But the second album, because it was written and recorded whilst on tour
Yeah.
with different bands, you can really hear the influences that were
Ah.
pulled from those bands, and a little bit too many. Like
Ah.
we was touring with Slipknot at that time. We toured with Born of Osiris, Attila. We was touring with so many different bands, technical and not technical, and we just tried to squeeze it all in. And had to, basically kind of got rushed into it a little bit.
Ah, okay.
So
Do,
yeah,
do you feel that was a huge learning experience and
yes,
helped you to understand your sound a little bit more?
definitely. Because we basically, I think the guys, especially the musician guys,
Yeah.
not me, they they I think they improved in their skills technically a
Yeah.
lot, and they basically wanted to showcase that,
Yeah.
which is the wrong way.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, and they was, oh, I've got so technical at guitar, so I want to
Yeah.
put this in there, and everyone wanted to show how good they'd got,
Yeah.
and we didn't just step back and think about how the song flows, and yeah, that was a big learning curve. People said it to us, and we were like, oh shit, we really need to take this criticism and work on it for the third album. That's what we did, and it worked out really well for us.
Fantastic. Well, I was just curious. In terms of like looking at all of your music, do you have any of your own songs that you'd say are your favourites? And if so, why?
Yes. Well, the last album, yeah. Let's
I was
just
just thinking in general,
yeah.
everything.
Uh, let's just pick the last album because I
Okay.
need to remember all the songs that
Oh, I
we've
see.
written.
Fair enough.
A song called "Unregistered" from our latest album, just really different. It was really rushed. Our drummer wrote the big majority of the song.
Oh, right.
I didn't have any lyrics for it, and actually was in the studio whilst recording it, and we're just like, "Fuck it, shall we do it?" And then we're like, "No," but we hadn't pre-produced it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever, let's do it. So we did it, and I wrote the lyrics in 10 or 20 minutes, just like rushing because the guys were getting finished up.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be one of my favourite songs. It's just that spontaneous kind of situation that made it turn out really well.
Okay. Fantastic. Um, so, uh, just in terms of sort of like playing live, do you, have you had any sort of like crazy sort of like stories about sort of like things kind of going wrong or, uh,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. We played a festival called, I think it's called So What now, but
Uh-huh.
it was called South by So What at the time
Yeah.
in Dallas, Texas. It's a huge festival and like a baseball stadium kind of situation, and there's like a big main stage bit there, and it's cut into two. So while one band is playing, the
Yeah.
other band is actually setting up on the other half of the one huge stage. Kind of
Yeah.
weird. And yeah, we got there and we didn't really have anyone to, like tell us where to go and
Yeah.
shit. So we just kind of rushed into it.
Mm.
Someone directed us towards the stage we were playing on,
Mm.
and I think there was another band playing on like a third or fourth stage, so the whole stage was free.
Yeah.
So we started setting up, almost ready to go,
Yeah.
and somebody comes up to us last minute and says, "No, you guys are playing on that side of the stage." So we had to rush over there, setting up, and everything was going wrong technically. And
Mm.
the sound guy, we didn't know what was going on because we didn't have our own sound guy at the time,
Yeah.
not in the States at least. And yeah, and they came up and says, "Oh, you've got 10 minutes left." We were like, "Okay, cool," but then I said, "No, 10 minutes of your actual set time."
Oh, wow.
So we did the intro, 1.5 songs got cut off,
Mm.
and architects were standing right behind us. They wanted to check us out, I think, because we've been submitted for a tour. I don't know. Huge embarrassment because they're one of our favourite bands, and they're just watching this train wreck. Yeah, I have nightmares about that situation. So terrible.
Well, these things do happen.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
was
I
horrible.
imagine it must have been. Sorry, actually,
No,
now.
mate, I still have nightmares about it. It's so shit. Luckily, we're past that now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, I wanted to actually finish off on something that we've been talking about a lot here. Actually, we've kind of come across this concept that if a band was to lose all of its members, basically replace all of the members over time or anything, it might have been over a period of like 20. Like Mayhem is a good example of this.
Yeah.
They don't have any of the original members left. Is it still the same band?
I don't know. A lot of people would argue no, but I don't know. I think the torch gets passed on slowly. So as long as it happens as slowly over time, then I guess so. You'll learn all of the old discography, and the spirit of the music's still there. I don't know who's to decide. I'd say
There is
yes.
definitely no wrong answers with this, but it's
No.
just interesting to see people's responses and everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd say yeah. Why not? Why not? Fuck it. Why not? Who's to say that it isn't the same band? If it's the
that's a
band
very good point.
that collectively, took that decision over that space of time, then yeah, sure, that's the same band. Why
That's
not?
a very good point, actually.
Yeah.
It always gets interesting responses from people. Well, thank you very much for your time
Thank you.
today. Really do appreciate it, and
Yeah,
hope
you're
you enjoy
welcome,
the rest of the festival.
Thank you. You too.
Just watch it fall.